Most guitarists I see who've been playing guitar for a few years or even for decades are doing one thing in particular that's holding them back more than anything else. They're holding the pick wrong, and you might be too. So if you're tired of missing strings, having the pick move around between your fingers, or you just want more control and accuracy, you need to start holding the pick in a way that makes these problems disappear. Now, it's a super common problem I see in almost all my students coming in, so it's nothing to feel bad about, especially because we're about to fix your picking in just 4 steps. The first thing we need to fix is the actual grip of the pick. You're probably 1, holding the pick too tight, and 2, maybe even holding it fully incorrectly. The best way to hold your pick is a very loose grip, first of all, like just resting your fingers together. You don't want to be pressing your fingers together and having your hand be tense, but just resting your fingers together. I like to put my pick, just place it on my pointer finger, right, kind of pointing away from my pointer fingernail, and then just rest my thumb on top. So it's pointing this way, my thumb's pointing up, and then the pick is pointing this way. Like I said, out from my nail and this like small knuckle, straight out from there. And then you just want to rest it like that. Don't tense up, just rest it and let it sit there. When you're picking, it might wobble a little, like it might have a little wiggle to it, but you don't want it to be sliding around too much. Problem 2 is the actual placement in your fingers. Most players have the pick out way too far, like way out here or something like that. I ask you what the benefit of that even is, because the only part that really is touching the string is this part. So having a big pick extension isn't helping you, it's actually hurting you. It's making your picking inaccurate. Let me show you a little example. I'm holding my pick out super far right now, and I'm going to try and play a little improv for you. Let's see how I do. Okay, off the bat, it feels terrible. I'm hitting dead notes and my picking just sounds inconsistent, because it is. When there's so much pick out, it's hard to be consistent because you have all of this space that you're not using, and all it's doing is making it hard to tell where the strings are. If you have it really tight into your hand, like look at this, not much pick sticking out at all at that point. So I usually hold my pick, then there's a lot more room to be accurate and a lot less room of the pick getting in your way. Let me try and do a little improv again with the pick tight as an example. So much more consistent, much more accurate. It feels better because there's not extra pick getting in my way. By the way, if you want to dive deeper into holding your pick correctly and just having overall good technique and understanding music, I have my free community link down below where there's a lesson dedicated just to picking that goes a lot deeper than this video does, and you can even ask me questions in there, so you don't have to have the problem that you may be having where you've been watching YouTube videos but still feeling stuck because you can't ask any questions about them, and maybe have 1 or 2 that, if answered, could get you moving and rolling, but you can't ask a YouTube video a question. But you can ask me a question in that community link down below. Number 3 is the placement of your hand on the guitar and the different contexts of which you should use different placements. Here's what I mean. When I'm playing lead guitar, a lot of the time I plant my hand on the bridge. I see a lot of players like floating up around here, like trying to play, just floating their hands like this. It's almost impossible to pick accurately if your hand's just floating around. If you can have it touching the guitar, you can subconsciously know where the strings are because your hand's touching the guitar and the strings aren't moving and your hand's now not moving in line with them. If your hand's floating, say, you're wiggling your guitar around or even just moving your hand, everything is then moving in relation to each other. But if your hand's planted down, you move your guitar all you want, your hand's planted with the guitar, it's not going anywhere. And you move your hand, your picking hand, you're keeping something on that guitar so that there's nothing changing the relation between your hand spacing and the strings. Another way to do this is putting your fingers on the top of this fingerboard, this pick guard like this. as another way to keep something touching that guitar that doesn't move. But say you're strumming, and it actually is good to pick your hand up from the guitar, but something I like to do is rest my forearm right here on the body of the guitar, because then you have that same thing of having something touching the guitar so that you're not losing your relation between your hands and the strings. Losing your relation between the hands and the strings is really hard. It makes it impossible to be accurate. So even when I'm strumming, I have my forearm planted. And it's just a great way to be accurate with your picking. Another thing is when you're strumming, you actually can let a little more of that pick out. Not a whole lot, but you can, what I like to do is just kind of push my fingers out. Like if I'm playing lead, I bring it in, and then if I'm strumming, I'll push it out a little bit. So here's an example, like strumming, I have my finger pushed out, and then I go to play lead, I'm bringing it in, tucking that pick in so that it's more accurate. Number 4 is just accepting the basic guitar picks. Those little Fender picks, medium, thin, thick, any thickness, they all suck. I don't know any pro level players that are using that basic style of pick. I'm not going to say you have to use the pick that I use, but I am going to say you should try out different picks. There's variety picks online, or variety packs of picks, I should say, where you get like 12 different picks and you can try them all out. But what I do use, if you're wondering, is I use these Jazz 3s, but specifically the grippy ones, which helps a lot with them sliding around. Your pick can't really slide around if it's gripping to your fingers. I don't know if you can really see that, but there's actual like knurling on the pick, almost like a barbell. It's not going anywhere, even though I'm holding super light. I'm barely squeezing my hands right now, and it would take like actual effort to pull the pick out. So I know it's not going anywhere. So seriously, mess around with your pick variety. I'll try and find a variety pack on Amazon and link it down below. And try it out. Try out different picks. Find one you actually like. Don't just accept the basic pick and use it for forever, because that's a loser move. I'm serious. I'm not even trying to hate. I just mean like you should know what the different options are and actually pick one. If you found this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you tomorrow.